The world watches with bated breath. Tensions rise, casting long shadows across the globe. Old rivalries resurface, fueled by nationalistic fervor and economic anxieties. The drums of war, silent for decades, beat once more, their rhythm a stark reminder of humanity's capacity for self-destruction. Are we on the precipice of another global conflict, a World War III that could redefine the geopolitical landscape? The question is not if, but when, and who will stand on which side when the first shot is fired. This is not the world of the 20th century with clearly defined battle lines and ideologies. The New World Order is more fluid, more complex. Power dynamics have shifted, alliances have been redrawn. Economic interdependence intertwines with military might, technological prowess with diplomatic maneuvering. In this intricate dance of power, predicting the players and the outcome of a potential World War III requires a keen understanding of history, geopolitics, and the volatile cocktail of ambition, fear, and uncertainty that drives nations. While open warfare remains a chilling possibility, it is not the only card on the table. The nature of conflict itself has evolved. On one side of this looming conflict, we see the rise of a new axis of power. No longer defined by fascist ideologies or territorial ambitions, this alliance is forged in shared economic interests, military aspirations, and a deep-seated resentment of the existing world order. At its core lie the burgeoning economies of Asia, hungry for resources and eager to assert their newfound strength on the world stage. These rising powers, with their large populations and rapidly modernizing militaries, pose a formidable challenge to the established powers of the West. Bound together by a complex web of trade agreements, military cooperation, and shared strategic goals, this new axis represents a shift in the global balance of power. They are united not by a single ideology, but by a common desire to reshape the world in their own image. Faced with this emerging threat, the traditional alliance system, led by the United States, finds itself at a crossroads. Decades of unipolar dominance have given way to a multipolar world, where power is more diffuse and alliances more fluid. The old playbook of military superiority and economic sanctions may not be enough to counter the challenges posed by this new axis of power. A new strategy is needed, one that combines military strength with diplomatic agility and a deep understanding of the economic and ideological forces at play. The strength of the traditional alliance lies in its network of long-standing partnerships, built on shared values, democratic principles, and a commitment to maintaining the existing global order. These alliances, forged in the crucible of past conflicts, provide a strong foundation for cooperation and mutual support. However, the changing geopolitical landscape necessitates a reassessment of these relationships. New partnerships must be forged, old ones strengthened, and a more inclusive approach adopted to address the concerns of emerging powers. Military power remains a crucial aspect of this response. Maintaining technological superiority, strengthening military alliances, and developing new strategies to counter the capabilities of the new axis will be paramount. The battlefields of tomorrow will look vastly different from those of the past. Gone are the days of massive troop movements and trench warfare. The 21st century battlefield is defined by speed, technology, and an intricate interplay of physical and virtual domains. Cyber warfare, artificial intelligence, and autonomous weapons systems will play an increasingly prominent role, blurring the lines between conventional warfare and unconventional tactics. Control of the seas, once the ultimate prize, will be challenged by hypersonic missiles, advanced submarine technology, and the growing militarization of space. Land battles, if they occur, will be swift and decisive, characterized by drone swarms, robotic soldiers, and precision strikes targeting critical infrastructure. The urban environment, with its densely packed populations and complex infrastructure, will become the new battleground, testing the limits of conventional warfare and demanding new strategies to minimize civilian casualties. Section 5. Echoes of the Past. Lessons from History. While the nature of warfare may have changed, the lessons of history remain as relevant as ever. History is replete with examples of hubris, miscalculation, and the unintended consequences of conflict. Examining past conflicts, particularly the two world wars, can provide valuable insights into the potential trajectory of a future global confrontation. Understanding the factors that led to those wars, the mistakes made, and the long-term consequences can help us navigate the treacherous terrain of contemporary geopolitics. One key lesson from the past is the danger of underestimating one's adversaries. In both world wars, assumptions about the capabilities and resolve of opposing nations proved disastrously wrong. Today, it is crucial to avoid repeating those mistakes. The new axis of power possesses both the economic resources and the technological prowess to pose a significant challenge to the existing world order. Dismissing their capabilities or misjudging their resolve could have catastrophic consequences. Section 6. Economic warfare, a silent killer. In a world increasingly interconnected by global trade and finance, economic warfare has emerged as a potent weapon, capable of inflicting damage far beyond the traditional battlefield. Sanctions, tariffs, and the manipulation of financial markets can cripple economies, isolate nations, and sow social unrest without firing a single shot. In a potential World War III scenario, economic warfare would likely play a central role, with both sides leveraging their economic might to gain a strategic advantage. The new axis of power, with its control over vital resources and manufacturing capabilities, would be well positioned to wage economic warfare. By restricting access to raw materials, manipulating supply chains, and leveraging their economic clout within international organizations, they could exert significant pressure on their adversaries. Section 7. The technology race, game changer, or wildcard. Technology has always played a pivotal role in shaping the outcome of wars, and a potential World War III would be no exception. The 21st century is witnessing an unprecedented pace of technological advancement, with breakthroughs in artificial intelligence, cybernetics, and directed energy weapons promising to revolutionize warfare. The outcome of a future global conflict may very well hinge on which side can most effectively harness these emerging technologies and integrate them into their military doctrines. Artificial intelligence, with its ability to analyze vast amounts of data, identify patterns, and make decisions at superhuman speeds, has the potential to transform warfare. AI-powered systems could control drone swarms, coordinate complex military maneuvers, and even engage in cyber warfare with minimal human intervention. The development of autonomous weapon systems capable of identifying and engaging targets without human oversight raises profound ethical and strategic questions, as it introduces a new level of unpredictability and removes the human element from the decision-making process. Section 8. Proxy wars and shifting alliances, the fog of war. In the complex and multipolar world of the 21st century, it is unlikely that a potential World War III would be a simple binary conflict between two clearly defined blocs. Instead, we are more likely to see a complex web of proxy wars, shifting alliances, and regional conflicts, all intertwined with the broader geopolitical struggle between the major powers. This fog of war, characterized by ambiguity, misinformation, and rapidly changing alliances, would make it difficult to predict the trajectory of the conflict or identify clear victors and vanquished. Proxy wars, fought by smaller states armed and supported by larger powers, would allow both sides to engage in conflict indirectly, minimizing the risk of direct confrontation between the major powers. These proxy conflicts, often fueled by historical grievances, ethnic tensions, or competition for resources, could easily escalate, drawing in more actors and expanding the scope of the conflict. Section 9. A world on hold, the global impact. The outbreak of a third world war, regardless of its eventual outcome, would have a devastating impact on the entire world, far exceeding the immediate consequences of the conflict itself. The global economy, already grappling with challenges such as inequality, climate change, and resource scarcity, would be thrown into turmoil. Supply chains would be disrupted, trade would grind to a halt, and financial markets would collapse, triggering a global economic depression that would have profound social and political consequences. The human cost of such a conflict would be immeasurable. Millions, if not billions of lives would be lost, not only as a direct result of the fighting, but also due to famine, disease, and the collapse of social order. Section 10. The unthinkable victory, a Pyrrhic triumph at best. In the event of a full-blown World War III, even the victors, if such a term could even be used, would find themselves grappling with the devastating consequences of their triumph. The cost of victory in terms of human life, economic devastation, and environmental degradation would be so high as to render the very concept of victory meaningless. The world that emerges from the ashes of such a conflict would be a shadow of its former self, scarred by war and struggling to rebuild amidst the ruins. The victors would inherit a world in chaos. Collapsed economies, shattered infrastructure, and widespread social unrest would demand immense resources and political will to address. The task of restoring order and stability would be Herculean, requiring international cooperation on an unprecedented scale. Section 11, Towards a Different Future, Dialogue over Destruction. As we stand at this precipice of conflict, it is imperative to remember that war is not inevitable. The path to global catastrophe is not preordained. We still have the power to choose a different future, one where dialogue replaces destruction and cooperation triumphs over conflict. This requires a fundamental shift in thinking, a recognition that the security of one nation cannot come at the expense of another, and that global challenges require global solutions. Strengthening international institutions such as the United Nations and empowering them to address global challenges such as climate change, pandemics, and nuclear proliferation is essential. These institutions provide a forum for dialogue, diplomacy, and the peaceful resolution of disputes, fostering trust and cooperation between nations. Investing in these institutions and ensuring their effectiveness is crucial for maintaining global peace and security. Promoting sustainable development, reducing inequality, and addressing the root causes of conflict, such as poverty, injustice, and lack of opportunity, are equally important. By creating a more just and equitable world, we can reduce the likelihood of conflict and foster an environment where cooperation and mutual understanding can flourish.